Hi guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at the MPG-16 Nucleon Quest Super Convoy. So here it is in all of its glory, his vehicle, robot mode, and power master. MPG, transformed from East Guy to Karatomi. MPG, Cybertron later, Nucleon Quest Super Convoy. Top of the box, Nucleon Quest Super Convoy. Side of the box, there he is. Back of the box, you know, it's all this. Side of the box, top of the box, bottom of the box, yada yada. So, this is a repaint of MPG Super Jinrai. But it's not Black Jinrai, it's actually Optimus Prime. So, how do I explain this? As far as I know, because I don't think this repaint has any fiction toward it. From what I've gathered, this was supposedly a repaint of Jinrai released as Optimus Prime, who was like upgraded for some super space quest or something. I don't really understand, but from what I gathered, this is not Jinrai. This is Optimus Prime. So it's not Nemesis Prime. He's still an Autobot. This is actually Optimus Prime. So, all right, sure. It says Cybertron leader, so it's Optimus Prime. So you got the truck mode, which is straight up just a black repaint of Super Jinrai. Accessory count, he comes with the two effects parts, which can, you know, just plug in like that. You'll still see them, but he's got two of them. They're same as a regular Super Jinrai, but red. Stand adapter. A statue of the Power Master. An alternate head, which I actually will not be using on this version of the mold. I will actually be keeping the standard head to make it a little different from the Super Jinrai. The shoulder gap fillers, and the Power Master itself. So it doesn't have the choke-on power. It doesn't have the extra hands. It doesn't have one of the heads. So it has a little bit less than a Super Jinrai. But, you know, it is what it is. I probably could have gone without this, to be honest, but it's all good. It's fine. So, we'll get to all of this in a minute. Let's go ahead and talk about Nucleon Quest Super Convoy himself here. And, you know, he is a big black truck, as you can see. He rolls very well. There are actually some improvements on this version of the mold as opposed to the original Super Jinrai. And I'll talk about that. They mainly affect the Super Robot mode. There is one thing, however, I think that's worse on this version, and I'll get to that. But we'll go ahead and pull this off. Fold these pieces down so the trailer can stand on its own. And if you want to do the MP60 Jinrai thing, you can fold these and plug them in there. And there you go. So if you only had MP60, you could just get this version to, like, differentiate them. So that's kind of neat. But then you'd have a black God Jinrai. I don't know if I'm going to show that off because I haven't done it myself. I know it's possible because the exact same mold. I don't know if I'm going to show it off. Maybe I'll make a post about it, like a short later or something. But I don't have MP60 Jinrai anymore. I ended up selling it. But he feels really good. It's the same mold as regular Jinrai. You can, of course, open this up. And you can fit the driver into either side of the truck. You can do it. I promise you can. Whatever. The point is, he's supposed to plug in right here. And he does not want to plug in. Will he fit on the other side? Whatever. Point is, he's supposed to be able to fit in there. Mine just does not want to. But that's the most use that's going to get out of me anyway, because it's going back in the box. I'm going to transform him. We're, of course, going to take the Power Master, who... I don't know if this is supposed to be Convoy, and this is the Transtector. I don't know, because that's how Japanese fiction works. I don't know if that's how this version works. But he transforms just like Jinrai did. And now, for me, the Power Master fits in here okay. But I feel like it stays in worse on... Yeah, you see? I feel like it stays in worse on this version than my Super Jinrai. I don't know. This was always kind of finicky anyway. But anyway. We'll go ahead and... do that. Whatever. So we'll pull all of that off. And we'll fold these out like that. Flip those back. Tab that out like this. And then fold out the arms. Fold that in, flip that down, flip that down. Oh my god. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. All right, flip that in, flip that in, flip that down. Fold these pieces out right here in the center. And these pieces will come down. Take his head, flip it up, flip it around, push it down like so. And then we'll close, rotate the waist around, and then just close the whole thing up on these tabs like that. If I missed a spot, I'm sorry. I reviewed this mold twice already. So if you want to go back and watch the transformations on those, you can. I do not want to do a third take on this. Oh yeah, that's another thing on this version. Mine's hard to turn these arms in. But flip that out, get those wheels out of the way. That out, flip the trailer hitch in, pull the foot down, and flip out the toe. Pull the foot down, flip out the toe. Make sure the Power Master stays in his back. It's not going to. And then rotate out the hands. There you go. We got Nucleon Quest Convoy in his basic robot mode. I'm assuming Super Convoy is the super mode. But, you know, he still looks good. I do like this mold quite a bit. In both versions. I did like the MPG-16 Jinrai a lot. I like the MPG-09 Super Jinrai version, and I like this version. It's neat. He can, of course, hold his guns. So, he can hold his little pew-pews, which is very neat. And, you know, he can do that, which is cool. Articulation-wise, his head does a full 360. Can look up and down. Rotation at the shoulder. In and out at the shoulder. It can also go up. Rotation at the bicep. Tight. Elbow joint. Wrist swivel. Hand can open and close. ab crunch, waist swivel, in and out, waist swivel. Put the goddamn Power Master back in. I really don't know why it stays so much worse in this version. Anyway, pull that up and the legs go forward, back, in and out, turn at the thigh, double knee joint, ankle pivot, foot can go forward and back. So he's got very good articulation. He looks good in this mode, and he is fun to play with. But of course, he has the super mode. So let's talk about the trailer now, which of course has its base mode. So let's get to that. Pull these guns off, like so. Fold these pieces down, disconnect right here, and then we'll start pulling these out of the way. Pull these pieces forward. Then we got this mess going on. Then we're going to raise your cameras. It's going to get kind of tall. These pieces will go forward like this. Flip those down like so. Flip that up and then plug it in to the top. Flip it up, plug it into the top. Flip this down and around. And then fold the legs out. And then this whole section will come down. And that'll go around like that. Close this up like that, and then that in. Get these back like that. Close all of that up. Flip that up, flip that down, rotate these around, and then fold these down. And start plugging in guns. And there, after you get the guns plugged in, is the base mode. And I've always said, and I stand by this, that I like this base mode a lot more than the G1 Optimus base. It's one of the better base modes they've ever done, in my opinion. And of course, you can have him standing with it, being all super powered. Now let's get him into his super mode. So, pull the guns off, close up the ramps, close that back down. Pull these guns off, stand it up, close that up, flip that down like that, and then fold the legs down, rotate it, rotate the camera back, flip the arms down, open this up, and then flip out the hands. And then push this head back like that. And then we got the body going on here. So we're going to get this guy back into vehicle mode, then we'll combine him with that. Alright, so once you got this guy back in the robot mode, or vehicle mode, I apologize. Go ahead and click these up. Bend these, and they'll all slide into place. just like so. Make sure the Power Master is plugged in. Slide it down, close that up. Plug your Power Master back in. And then fold down the head. So, let's get the Power Master plugged in. And there you go. Now I'm going to get these out of the way because I'm never going to use them again. Plug in these pieces if you don't want him using the cannons. Yeah, whatever. Now, there are a couple of improvements that I mentioned. The panels on the legs do hold a lot better on this, on at least my version. And his head plugs in a lot better, at least on my version. So, there are some legitimate improvements here. That drives me crazy. And if you really want to, you can replace the head with the more anime head. But, like I said, to differentiate him with my God Jinrai, I'm going to use the regular boxed head. But you can attach shoulder cannons. He can hold his guns. So you can, like, dab his guns to his hands. Just like, you know, standard MP. And what I like to do to differentiate him a little bit more is I put his little guns up top. Just to give him a bit more firepower and just to sell the fact that Optimus Prime has been upgraded to go on this super Nucleon quest in space. Articulation-wise, his head is on a full 360. Can look up and down. Rotation at the shoulders. In and out at the shoulders, but you got to move this piece. He's got a butterfly joint, and he's also got that joint in there, which is for the God Jinrai combination. Then the bicep. Elbow joint, wrist swivel. You saw me when I was giving him his guns, how his hands could open and close. He's got an ab crunch, waist swivel, full 360. Legs can go forward. If you move the skirt, they can go even farther forward. Can go back just that far because the backpack. In and out at the thighs. Turn the thigh. Knee bend, and he's got an ankle pivot. So, you know, superb articulation because he's a masterpiece figure. And he is a great masterpiece figure at that. If you liked God Jinrai, you'll like Nucleon Quest Super Convoy. It's just how it is. If you didn't like God Jinrai, or Super Jinrai rather, then you're not going to like Nucleon Quest Super Convoy. But as I'm someone who loved Super Jinrai, I love Nucleon Quest Super Convoy. He is better than Super Jinrai in some ways and worse in others. Like I said, I like the head plugging in better and these tabbing it better are legitimate improvements. That popping out a lot more often is really annoying. I also prefer the Super Jinrai color scheme. So I like how that one looks better. This one looks cool. Like I do like my black repaints. But I also, you know, generally just like regular color schemes. But I like having multiple versions of Autobot leaders, so repaint of Super Jinrai, I was like, yeah, he looks awesome. I wasn't going to pick him up, and I was like, no, I'm going to pick him up. If they do a black God Bomber to go with him, ooh, that's tempting. We'll see. But if you, just like, if you want to just a different take on Optimus Prime. Here you go, because this is, like I said, this is Optimus Prime. This isn't Jinrai. So in that regard, I was like, well, I got to get all the Optimus Primes. So it's technically the second Optimus Prime in MPG, and we're getting a third one in a moment. So, oh boy, but yeah, great figure, definitely worth buying. I think he's awesome, and I think you will too if you like this design and you like black color schemes. So, thank you guys so much for watching this review. I do hope you enjoyed it, and stick around for more. Take care.